If you have a difficult challenge with your dog, I hear it a lot from people. They're having a particular issue with their dog, a challenge, their dog's a jerk. They'll have people tell me that. Or in these situations, their dog is a jerk. If that's your case, the first step is to understand what your dog's personality is. Once we know that, then we're going to help you to understand what the dog's family unit looks like. Those two things are the areas where we spend most of our time miscommunicating to them. And when we put those together, it makes it very easy from there then to come up with a plan on how to fix the issues that you're having. Dog personalities are the same as our personalities. They run the same spectrum. You have on one end, you have what I call the natural born leaders. So those are the individuals that their personality says that they are designed to be in charge. I think if you put 100 people in a room, it becomes very obvious very quickly which of those people are natural born leaders. Dogs are the same way. Luckily for us, they're few and far between because they're much more difficult to deal with when we're talking about behavioral and training issues. Then the next category that I use is middle management. So it's exactly what it sounds like. It's people or dogs who want to be in control of something. They want to have a power base, a fiefdom. They want to be in charge of somebody or something, but they're not necessarily built to run the whole show. Then you have the socialites. The socialites are the people or dogs who just want to party and have a good time. That's all they're worried about. They don't really want any responsibility. They don't want to have to worry about anything like that. They just want to know when's the next party. I find it interesting that in the dog world, every basset hound I've ever met falls into that category. I'm not sure why, but basset hounds apparently like to party. The next category is worker bees. So worker bees are dogs or people who just want to know what their job is. They want a clear understanding of it. They will do a very good job once they know what it is, and they don't want to do anything outside of that job. They don't want any responsibility outside of that. Just tell them what to do. They'll do a very good job at it, and that's it. That is typically what we see a lot in German Shepherds. German Shepherds fall into that category frequently. Not all German Shepherds, obviously, but when you see working dogs, like police dogs and things like that, a lot of times they will have those personalities because they really need to know what their job is. They're going to do a very good job at it, and that's all they want to do. Shy or introverted dogs or people is the last category, and that is where you have those same 100 people in the room, the people that are standing in the corner saying, you know, I'm not comfortable being here, and I'm just going to be in this corner. Hopefully nobody needs me for anything because I don't want to socialize or be involved with this at all. Dogs can be the same way. They can be naturally or genetically shy or be more introverted, and they're not looking to, you know, be outgoing and go to doggy daycare and things like that, and they're not comfortable in crowds and things like that. So that's the personality spectrum that we look at for dogs. So you can shape a dog's behavior, but you can't change their personality, okay? So if you're a shy person, you can't change the fact that you're shy. You can learn coping skills that will help you react better in social settings, or like if you had to do public speaking or something like that, you could learn skills to help you handle those sorts of things, but it's not going to make you an unshy person. So the understanding your dog's personality is very important when we're dealing with training and issues and trying to get the best possible relationship with your dog. So given that spectrum, what do you think your dog's personality is? I'd like you to put it in the comments and let me know what you think. The interesting part is that your dog can have a different personality with other dogs than they do with people. So one of my dogs is a female Cane Corso. Her name is Stella. And Stella came to us through a rescue that we ran for a breed-specific rescue for Cane Corsos years ago. She'll be 9 this year, so 9 years ago. She came to us as a 5 or 6 week old puppy, and we had her and her 2 sisters, and it was painfully obvious when we got her, even at that young age, that she was a natural born leader. And in the dog world, natural born leaders can be very kind leaders, or they can be not so kind leaders. Think of it more like a dictatorship than a democracy, and you can have kind dictators or not so kind dictators, and Stella definitely falls into the not so kind dictator category. So with other dogs, she's extremely dominant and difficult. So at that young age, we decided that we could not place her because she was going to probably be the kind of dog that would be returned multiple times or end up euthanized because of her personality. So I kept her. She lives with me and my dogs, and she has a lot of strict rules that she follows. And I tell her that the only reason she has lived this long is because I can outbitch her any day of the week. And it works for us, and she's a very good dog, but she has a difficult personality. Now for Stella, the way she acts with other dogs is not how she acts with people. With people, she's very friendly and outgoing, and in times she can be a little bit shy. So she's actually almost on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to how she is with other dogs versus how she is with people. And dogs can be that way. So when you're thinking of your dog's personality, if I throw that monkey wrench in, now what do you think your dog's personality is? And you could tell me the difference between people and dogs. Which do you think your dog falls into? What category? Natural born leader? Middle management? Socialite? Worker bee? Or shy or introverted? One of the other reasons why it's important to understand your dog's personality is I've met people who have very unrealistic goals for their dog. In other words, based on their personality, what the owner wants to do with them is not something that if they could speak, the dog would want to do. An example would be people who want to have their dog be a therapy dog. So a dog that goes into hospitals or nursing homes or schools and enjoys being pet by humans. Obviously, if you have a dog that's shy or introverted, they aren't going to enjoy that. That's not something that they would enjoy. No matter how much the owner enjoys it, the dog is not going to enjoy it. So it's important to understand your dog's personality so that you know when you want to do something with your dog, whether or not that's actually going to be a good fit for them as well. A dog can also be what I call conflicted. And what that means is at certain times they act one way and at other times they act another. So an example of that would be inside a home. If you have a dog who is very protective and doesn't like strangers coming in the house. So they act one way with strangers where they're barking and lunging towards them and telling them to stay out. But then when you go out in public, they're very shy or afraid of strangers and they go away from them and don't want to be involved. Now that's what we call conflicted. So I'd really like to know in the comments what you think your dog's personality is. And if you want to divide it up and tell me you think that they're one way with dogs and one way with people, or you think they're the same across the board, it's really fun to look at that and kind of give you a fresh look at your dog and your ability to work with them. And that's our first step. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say. So if you'd like some help figuring out your dog's personality, be sure to click on the link in this post and get my free dog personality worksheet. You can download that for free and make sure you post your results in the comments.